Alright, last time in part 2 we had reached the end of the area that I had kind of hit as a dead end last time when I played last night. Today I was able to get past that point, and that's where we are here. I found some steps that I went down into, and that's where I am now. There are a bunch of guys with cool flaming hands, and I encountered them all throughout the next areas that I went in, but they're pretty easy to take out. They're easily duped, and I'm not expecting incredible AI from the enemies in this game, but I did find out, and you'll probably see it later on in this video, enemies will unwittingly attack each other, trying to attack you. So they're kind of set in their pattern of actions. They'll attack because they're trying to attack, and I think you'll see it right down here. They think they're attacking you, so they will attack, and somebody will be in front of them, and they'll hit, another enemy without meaning to, of course. But it's pretty convenient for me because that's less for me to kill. That's more work that they do for me. So I was okay with that. It was just interesting for me to see that. Most enemies in other games that I've played don't do that. Their attacks go through each other and they only hit you, but not so in Demon Souls. So that was just cool. So I went down here, lots of guys doing their pilgrimage up the steps. That guy fell. I almost did too. And you can see right there, he attacked 2 other enemies that were there and incinerated them. Very kind of him. I rewarded him with some dancing down here, the Dance of Death, and he went down very quickly for me. He was very courteous. Shame we couldn't have been friends, I guess. There is a lever here. One thing I didn't like is that I had to stand right in front of it, in that middle spot, in order to pull it, but it wasn't that hard to activate, I guess. Went through and got the item here. It was a cool ring. Since there is no pause button, I wanted to go back to a safe place to actually equip this ring, and you can see my equips there. Cling ring. It keeps me alive just a little bit more, I suppose, if you wanted to summarize what it does. Did a cool somersault here into the open, and I realized that I'm actually at a point where I already have been before. You will see that in part 1. So this is a shortcut that Kuro had told me about that I would unlock, so I finally realized what he was talking about here. Actually unlocked it. So I went back up to where I was before, and I was glad I went exploring, but kind of dark, dingy place, not much fun there. The game is very dark. If your settings aren't set right, you will have trouble seeing, especially if your TV has dark settings to begin with, so just another thing to note there. But overall, still a pretty enjoyable game. There was an item here that I did not see before. I'm not sure how I missed it, but I got that, and then I went out here back according to the line of the ballistas. So as I went through, I was actually wondering how far I would get, because by this point I was expecting to have died, and I wasn't aware of the little place downstairs that I was just in, and so I did a quick check here, seeing if there was anything else that I had missed. In the previous video, or maybe it was the first one, I mentioned that there was a guy that I kept running into, and he was a guy with a spear, and there was a cool glowing circle on him, and every time that I would see him, he would kill me in one hit. That was it. There was no fighting, there was no shielding, there was really no attacking him. I couldn't do anything. And so eventually I figured I would leave him alone. So I was at this point now where I thought, well, it's either him or the fog. And this is him here. And I was looking at him, and you can kind of see me pause there. I'm checking weapons, like, what do I have? What can I do? And I'm hesitating, and eventually, after a few seconds, I figured, you know what, forget it. I've come this far. I can actually go through the fog now. There's nothing else left except for him. And later, Kuro told me that's an optional part of the game that I can come to later, so I was glad that I skipped him and instead just chose to pass on over to the fog, which is the next area of the game. So you can see me running here, going through. Did not watch my step there. I cannot go through that ballista, so I had to go around. But here you will see me. I'm going to enter the fog, and you will see what is there in the next video in part 4. I'll have the link in the description. Thank you for watching part 3.